Welcome to our relationships, where some friendships last decades, and others last exactly until the moment someone loses an envelope of cash and decides to become prosecutor, jury, and executioner, all on the same Saturday. Today's post is about Mia, 29, who had certainties in life that her best friend Sloan, 30, was family. That nobody touched her things without asking. The third certainty came later, and it came with the taste of rust. Mia and Sloan had known each other since college. One of those old friendships built on bad coffee, group projects, and if I call you at 3 a.m., you answer. Sloan was the person who showed up with soup when Mia got sick, and Mia was the person who carried Sloan home when Sloan cried over some dead-end guy. A fair trade, except that, in recent months, Mia had entered bride mode, spreadsheets, vendors, all caps messages, and a level of patience that felt like a cracked crystal glass. Her fiancé, Caleb, 31, was the too calm type, the kind of guy who doesn't argue even when the house is on fire. He just asks if there are marshmallows. Sloan had just ended a relationship and was feeling a bit lost. Mia offered the couch for a few weeks. The couch turned into a little while. The little while turned into we'll see later. The tension was already living there, paying rent in silence. On Friday, Mia received a brown envelope with cash. It was the deposit for the wedding venue. She tucked it where she always kept important things, at the top of the hallway closet, inside a show box that didn't match any shoes. Boxes are great. They give a sense of security, until the box betrays you. On Saturday, Mia and Sloan were alone in the house for a few hours. Caleb went out to take care of a quick thing and came back with a shopping bag. And that smile of someone who swears they are living a clean, organized life with no secrets. In the evening, Mia went to get the envelope. The box was there. The lid, to dot the envelope, was not. The apartment fell into a strange silence, the kind that sounds like a noise. The hallway light felt colder. The air smelled of cheap perfume and stale nervousness. Mia shoved her hand into the box as if the envelope were a fish that could escape to the bottom. Nothing. Then she remembered the second most sacred place in the house. The jewelry box with her grandmother's ring, an old piece, slightly crooked with a stone that didn't shine much but carried history. It was the kind of thing you don't sell, you don't lend, you don't discuss. You just keep it. Mia opened the box. Empty space. A void so tidy it felt like a joke. She looked everywhere. In drawers, in bags, in books, under cushions. And the more she searched, the more her brain assembled a private courtroom, complete with a paranoia soundtrack. Sloan walked into the kitchen with a mug. Mia heard her own voice before she realized she had spoken. Did you take my money? Sloan blinked twice, slowly, like someone trying to figure out if this was serious. Mia repeated it. The repetition was worse because it came with more venom than my grandmother's ring. Did you take it? Sloan put the mug in the sink, just slowly. The kind of slow that makes you want to rip the clock off the wall. She said no. She said it with a firm voice. Eye to eye. No stuttering. No drama. Mia, whose heart was already beating in her throat, decided that was exactly what a smart thief would say. And then, like every human being who believes the world exists to validate their own breakdown, Mia did what she needed to do to feel strong. She attacked. She called Sloan a thief. It wasn't a could you have taken it by mistake. It wasn't a let's talk. It was thief. Dry, ugly, definitive, like a stamp on the forehead. Sloan went pale, and for a second looked like she was going to explode. But she only did one thing Mia didn't expect. She grabbed her phone, her backpack, her keys, and said something with too much calm. Okay, so you've decided. Mia tried to maintain her posture. Her posture was shaking. Sloan walked out, slamming the door. Caleb returned half an hour later. He found Mia with red eyes and the house looking like a crime scene, with open drawers and upturned clothes. Caleb asked what happened with that irritating serenity of someone who always seems to inches away from saying just breathe. When Mia told him, Caleb made the right face. The face of indignation. The wow, that's outrageous face. The face of someone who wants to be on the right side without having to think too much. He dropped the perfect line. I always thought she was jealous of you. How convenient. Mia posted on Reddit in the middle of the night because of course she did. When life turns into chaos, the modern human wants the things validation and strangers saying you're right. She wrote something like this, only with more anger and less self-reflection. Title, I called my best friend a thief because my money and a piece of jewelry went missing. Did I go too far? She explained the friendship, the couch, the bride life, the envelope, the ring, the slammed door. Said she felt betrayed. Said she felt sick. Said it wasn't about the money, it was about trust. And here's the warning. If you like this kind of story, where a human goes from my soul sister to your trash into minutes, then do this. Don't disappear later. Stick around, because the responses that follow are the kind of chaos that makes you want to scream nitrogen monoxide way, and then stare at the screen like someone watching a slow-motion accident. And yes, if you enjoy these stories, take the chance to follow and leave a comment, because the court of public opinion loves a new case. In the comments, Reddit did what Reddit does. Logan, are you absolutely sure it was her? Who else was in the house? Marissa, the bride always thinks the world is against her, but money and jewelry vanishing is very specific. Trevor, camera, today, now, and review everything. And why is the fiancé so calm? Naomi, you're both acting like the money evaporated. Someone took it, and the first person to accuse someone usually wants to deflect attention. Derek, I've seen this happen. The partner blames the friend to isolate you. Check Caleb's story. Mia replied defensively, of course. Said Caleb was trustworthy. Said he would never do that. Said he barely knows where the jewelry box is. Said Sloan was the only one with a motive. Reddit read that and gave that invisible little chuckle. In the morning, Mia tried to call Sloan. It rang and rang. And rang. Nothing. Message sent. Not read. Mia felt that bitter taste of maybe I destroyed something. And then came the detail that turned the knife. Mia remembered the building had a camera in the hallway. She went down to the lobby, her stomach in knots and a fake good morning smile. The doorman, who had already seen more secrets than a therapist, released the footage. It was to 17 a.m. The camera caught the apartment door opening, Caleb walking out, unrushed out wearing a jacket. And with a small object in his hand. Hidden like someone guarding a sin, Mia felt the blood drain from her face. And, as if the universe had a cruel sense of humor, her phone vibrated at the same time. A message from an unknown number. Do you still think it was her? Look closer. The message came with the photo attached, and in the photo, you could see the glowing window of a pawn shop. Caleb, standing in front of it, holding exactly the box that Mia remembered as if it were part of her own body. The photo stayed there, glowing on the phone screen like a digital middle finger. Mia stared at the image of the pawn shop window, stared at the reflection of her own face in it, and felt a rare thing happen inside her chest. The anger stopped being just anger and turned into calculation. That kind of coldness that climbs up the back of your neck and says, okay, now I'm going to get smart. She zoomed in on the photo. The angle was bad, but you could see enough. The box, the hand, the relaxed posture of someone who had just turned a family heirloom into a discount coupon. She went back to the apartment without making a scene. No screaming, no crying. Just that silence that, in movies, usually comes right before the fire starts. Caleb was in the bedroom, messing with his laptop as if the world were a simple place, where people don't hide crimes in shoeboxes. Mia stood in the doorway for a few seconds watching the relaxed way he sat, his normal breathing. The man had a supernatural gift for looking innocent even if he were holding a sign. That said, I did it. She set her phone to record, shoved it into her hoodie pocket, and walked in. I need you to explain something to me. Caleb didn't even really lift his head. What? Mia took a deep breath slowly. Why did you leave the apartment at 2:17 in the morning with a package in your hand? Now he looked up. A second's pause. A micro glitch in his gaze, as if his brain had opened the wrong tab. I left. Mia put the phone on the bed and showed him the video from the hallway. The image of him opening the door, looking side to side, heading down. Caleb stared at it as if it were a poorly edited work of fiction. Then he fired the first shot from the guilty man's handbook. That doesn't prove anything. Mia showed the next photo. The shop window. The little box. His expression shifted from I don't know what you're talking about to okay. Maybe I know, but I'm going to deny it with conviction. Are you spying on me now? He asked with an indignation so well rehearsed he could have sold tickets to it. Mia gave a humorless laugh. I'm defending myself. There's a difference. Caleb closed the laptop to calmly. Fine, let's be rational. The word rational came out of his mouth like a magic spell, and Mia felt like throwing a dictionary at him. I was trying to surprise you, he said. Mia stood still, waiting for the next sentence with the same hope one as when opening an empty fridge. None. Surprise. Mia repeated. You took my grandmother's ring and the venue money. As a surprise, Caleb opened his hands. I didn't take any money, so it just evaporated. I took the box, he admitted quickly, like pulling off a bandage. But it wasn't for that, and you took it to a pawn shop. Why? To give it a change of scenery. He ran his hand through his hair, sighing. I needed an appraisal. I wanted to get it fixed. The lid was loose. I thought about making it look nicer. Mia felt her head throb. The lie came in layers, each more insulting than the last. You're calling me stupid in my own home, she said quietly. Caleb stepped closer, using that attempt at a soothing voice from someone who thinks affection erases a crime. Mia, you're stressed. The wedding, Sloan being here. You're spiraling. Sloan's name entered the conversation like a match. Don't bring her into this. Mia cut him off. You've done enough. I called my best friend a thief because of you. Caleb froze for half a second. Half a second is enough when someone is lying. Half a second is the light flickering on in a dark room. I didn't make you call anyone a thief, he said, shifting the weight back onto her. You did that all by yourself. Mia stared at him. You said yesterday that you always thought she was jealous of me. I just made a comment. You interpreted it, of course. He was a misunderstood poet, and she was the one reading it wrong. A tragedy. Mia turned, went straight to the hallway closet, opened the showbox, and showed him the emptiness. Where's the envelope? Caleb shrugged. That small gesture meant to look casual. I don't know. You do know. I swear I don't. Then let's do this, Mia said, grabbing her purse and keys. We're going to the pawn shop right now. You're going to walk in with me. And you're going to explain why my grandmother's box showed up there. Caleb's eyes widened. Now? Mia, that's humiliating. Humiliating is me putting my best friend on the street calling her a thief, she replied. You're just getting a ride to your own shame. He tried to grab her arm. Mia pulled back. His touch, in that moment, felt dirty. Not because he was physically dirty, but because he was emotionally contaminated. Caleb changed his tone. If you do this, it's over. Mia gave a short smile. Weak threat. You're already over. You're just trying to pick the soundtrack. She left, alone, on the way. Her phone buzzed with a flood of notifications. Comments on the post, DMS. And in the middle of it, A message from Sloan, finally. Sloan, I didn't take anything. And I know you won't believe me right now, but I need to tell you something about Caleb. Answer me. Mia stared at it, her stomach tied in a knot. She breathed. She replied with the coldness of someone trying not to collapse onto the asphalt. Mia, I saw him. I have video. I have a photo. I'm going to fix this. We'll talk later. Sloan, you have video of him leaving. Great, because I have something else. I overheard him on the phone yesterday. He said she'll blame Sloan. Relax, Mia, please. The world gave that slight tilt. Small, but enough for Mia to feel it. She typed what? And deleted it. Typed again and deleted again. In the end, she just wrote, Mia, where are you? Sloan sent her location at a cafe near the building. Mia almost veered the car right then, but something inside her whispered, proof first. Art later, the pawn shop was on a busy avenue, with aggressive white lights and windows that screamed. This is where your traumas turn into pocket change, a flashing sign, a bell on the door, a smell of metal, and a spare. Mia walked in and was greeted by a thin man with a sparse beard and an old band t-shirt. Name tag, Rico, and eyes that had seen too many wedding rings to believe in love anymore. Can I help you? He asked, unenthusiastically. Mia put her phone on the counter with the photo open. This man, this box. He was here in the middle of the night. Rico looked quickly, then looked around, as if checking if the drama came with an audience. We open early. Not in the middle of the night. Then why is your shop window in this photo? Mia countered. Rico tilted his head, analyzed it. That looks like our window, but I don't recognize those R's. Who took this? Doesn't matter. Mia took a deep breath. My grandmother's ring is missing, and I have video of him leaving with something in his hand. Rico finally turned serious, that pragmatic seriousness of someone who knows the police are a hassle and nervous. Customers are worse. Do you have a police report? Mia swallowed. Not yet. Rico made a slight face, like that makes things complicated without a report. I can't give you a customer's personal info. Mia leaned forward. Her voice came out low, cutting. Then you can tell me one simple thing. Did this box pass through here today? Yes or no? Rico hesitated. Mia saw the hesitation and understood the game. He knew. Look, Rico scratched the back of his neck. If you file a report, I can check the system, see the ticket, see those things. Mia pulled out her phone and, right there, called the station. The operator told her the basics. You can file online, and if there is violence, call 911. The world is beautiful when you're in a crisis. It always answers with an automated menu. Mia hung up and stared at Rico. So, I'm going to file online and come back. But before I do, I just want one tip. Am I wasting my time? Rico let out a long sigh. No, one word. A funeral. He came here. Rico continued, now looking her in the eye. But I can't tell you everything without a report. What I can say is, he didn't seem desperate. He seemed used to it. Mia felt her legs go strange. It was as if someone had told her this wasn't a mistake. It was a habit. She left the shop, sat in the car, and stayed there for a few seconds staring at the steering wheel as if it could give moral advice. Reddit exploded on her phone. Top comment with 18,000 upvotes. If you have video of him leaving and a photo of the shop, you have enough for a police report. And stop arguing with him. He's already in gourmet gaslight mode. Another, you accuse Sloan way too fast. This isn't just about theft, it's about isolation. He's planting suspicion to leave you alone. Another, check credit, check cards, check betting apps. And why did he go out to solve a quick thing with the bag? That's classic. I solved something equals I fixed my lie. Mia went back to the post with a short, dry update. The kind from someone trying not to emotionally collapse in front of strangers. Update. I have video of Caleb leaving at 2:17 a.m. Received a photo of him in front of the pawn shop with the box. Going to file a report and find my friend. I'm shaking. Then she drove to the cafe. Sloan was in a corner, eyes swollen, hands around a cup that must have been cold for hours. She looked smaller than usual. The posture of someone who had been hit by an accusation and still tried to apologize to the car. Mia stopped in front of her. For a second, nothing came out. Just a heavy silence. Sloan spoke first. With that voice that has been through so much crying it turns into something else. You called me a thief, Mia. Mia swallowed hard. I saw things. I thought. You thought because he wanted you to. Sloan opened her phone and put it on the table. I recorded this by accident. Yesterday, in the middle of the night, I was in the hallway, going to get water. He was in the living room, on the phone. I heard my name. Mia pressed play. The recording had noise. But Caleb's voice came through clear enough to scratch. Relax. She trusts me. And she's already fed up with Sloan. It'll fit like a glove. When she realizes it's gone, she'll aim for her. I just need to get out and fix this fast. Sloan paused it. She looked at Mia with a sadness that also held anger. I was in shock. I didn't send it to you right away because I thought I was overreacting. I thought no, he wouldn't do that. I thought exactly the way you think. Mia felt her face burn. The guilt came in waves. Guilt for the shouting, for the word thief, for the slammed door, for the friendship thrown in the trash like a dirty napkin. I'm so sorry, Mia said. And the phrase came out weak because there was no way it could be strong enough to fix that. Sloan laughed a short, bitter laugh. You're sorry now that the thief has a grandmother's ring in his hand. Mia closed her eyes. I deserve that. Yes, you do, Sloan replied without cruelty, just sincerity. But we're not here to punish you, Mia. We're here because he's destroying you and you're still trying to find a way to say please. Mia breathed, trembling. Has he done this before? Sloane hesitated. And that hesitation was the second shock of the day. I didn't know it was you, Sloane said. But I saw him doing strange things. Receiving calls, leaving in the middle of the night, coming back with the everything's under control face. And once he dropped something from his pocket. A crumpled ticket. A ticket for what? Sloane looked away, as if fearing her own answer. A pawn ticket. I thought it was. I don't know. A video game. A watch. I didn't want to meddle. Mia put her hands to her forehead. Her heart wasn't beating anymore. It was hammering. She opened her banking app. Checked the accounts. Checked the credit card limits. And then she remembered something she had never looked at because of trust. She opened her email. Type card, limit, credit, approved, and she found it. A card approval email in Caleb's name. Address, their apartment. Date, 3 months ago, and a second email. Another card. Another limit dot, and a third. Mia felt a chill run through her chest. He's getting into debt. Sloane nodded slowly. Or he's paying for something. Or someone. Mia stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. Sloane grabbed her wrist. Don't go alone, Sloane said. You already went alone when you accused me. Don't do it again. Mia took a deep breath, trying to grab her own sanity by the collar, okay? She replied. Then we go together. But first, she opened Reddit. Read more comments. One of them caught her eye, from a user who seemed to have a PhD in domestic chaos. Comment, look for a burner phone. Look for another identity. These guys don't steal to survive. They steal because they like controlling the narrative. Burner phone. Mia stared at Sloane. Can you go with me to the apartment to get my things? Documents, my laptop, and look for anything of his. I don't want to be alone with him. Sloane took a deep breath. I'll go. But you're going to hear one thing. If he tries to turn you inside out, you don't argue. You record. You leave. Mia nodded. They went back out in the hallway. The apartment door looked the same as always. And that was the worst part. Because inside, Mia's life was already in pieces when they opened it. Caleb was there, sitting on the sofa, as if he were waiting. The posture of someone who had already prepared the speech and just needed the audience. He looked at Sloane and made a face of contempt. Too fast, instinctive, the mask slipped and went back in place. Well, look at that, Caleb said. With fake calm. The thief is back. Mia felt a snap in her head. But now she wasn't just anger. She was proof. She was a recording. She was a person awake. Sloane answered before Mia could. Funny you calling someone a thief with a pawn ticket in your pocket. Caleb blinked. 1 second. And then came the smile. The two of you are feeding off each other. It's pathological. Mia grabbed her phone and held it at chest level. I'm recording. Speak slowly. Caleb's tone shifted. Mia, please. You don't understand. Then explain, Mia said. Where's the envelope? Where's the ring? Caleb ran his hand over his face, like someone suffering under the weight of being a professional liar. I did something stupid. Mia didn't blink. Go on. He let out a breath, theatrically defeated. I have problems. What kind of problems? Sloane asked. Caleb looked at Mia and said, with the weak courage of someone who only confesses half, I owe money. Mia felt the floor drop. Because I owe money never comes alone. To whom? Caleb pressed his lips together, and for a second, the calm man disappeared. In his place emerged someone with real fear. You don't want to know. Mia laughed. I already know enough. You stole from my family. You stole my wedding. You stole my best friend from my life for a night. I want to know everything. Caleb looked around. Then at his pocket. Then at the table. And that was when Mia saw it. A second wallet, different from his. Half hidden behind a cushion. Mia snatched it before he could react. Inside, a card with a name that wasn't Caleb, and a 3x4 photo of him, smiling. With a different appearance. A different signature. Sloane's eyes went wide. What the hell is this? Caleb stepped forward quickly. Give that back. Mia held it tight, her entire body shaking, on the card. The name printed was as clear as a sentence, Mason Reed, and, in the same instant, Mia's phone vibrated with a notification from a shared calendar, an event invite. Newly arrived, as if the universe had cynical timing, wedding rehearsal dinner, Mason, and. The rest of the name was cut off in the notification. Mia raised her eyes to Caleb, and the silence between the three of them became so heavy it felt like it had mass. Caleb opened his mouth, but no light came out. Not yet. Because now, for the first time, he realized the story was no longer in his hands. Caleb stared at the Mason Reed card like someone staring at their own reflection. And hating what they see, he lunged for it, moving far too fast for someone supposedly to calm. Mia yanked her arm back. Sloane, acting on instinct, threw her body in front of her like a human shield fueled by dark circles and caffeine. Give it back. Caleb snarled and his mask snapped right off. This wasn't a honey, let's talk tone. This was the voice of someone used to giving orders and being obeyed. Mia gripped the card between her fingers. First, you explain why your name isn't your name. Caleb took a deep breath, trying to stitch his personality back onto his face. This is complicated. Of course it is. Sloane shot back. A good scam never comes with a manual. Caleb pointed at her as if she were the problem. You're filling her head with this. Sloane let out a dry laugh. I'm just watching you try to put out a fire with gasoline and coaching cliches. Mia opened the event notification on her phone, still shaking. The invite was right there, looking so pretty. Like a normal thing for normal people. Waiting rehearsal dinner, Mason and Jay. That cutoff name stuck in her mind like an ingrown nail. Mia looked at Caleb. Who is Jay? He froze. The answer took 1 second longer than it should have. And that second gave everything away. It's nothing. Mia repeated it, every word sharpened. Who is Jay? Caleb tried the old trick. Partial confession, imaginary tears, soap opera morality. I was trying to starting over by stealing her grandmother's ring. Sloane asked with a terrifying calmness. What a lovely fresh start. Very therapeutic. Caleb took a step forward, his voice dropping low. I didn't want to hurt Mia. Mia held the phone up, clearly visible. It's recording. Keep going, he noticed. And it irritated him. That specific kind of irritation felt by those who hate witnesses. Caleb bared a smile that was anything but a smile. You're going to believe her, is that it? Mia didn't blink. I'm going to believe evidence. And right now, I have a collection. She pointed to the wallet. Where's the envelope with the money? Where is the ring? Caleb tried to pivot. The money. I didn't take it. Mia let out a short, joyless laugh. So, I'm being haunted by a poltergeist envelope. Sloane crossed her arms. You've lied so much you probably owe a debt to the truth. Caleb ran his hand over his face, playing the part of the tired man, a victim of his own fate. I owe people. Dangerous people. Mia felt her stomach sink. So, you decided to pay them with my life. He gave a small, almost imperceptible shrug. It was just a loan. I was going to replace it. You were going to replace it when? Sloane prodded. After you married her. Or after you married the other one. Or after you married all of them, like some kind of loyalty program. Mia looked at the invite again. The event had an address. A high-end restaurant on the other side of town. The kind with napkins folded like origami and prices that make you apologize. Before ordering water. Then the most ironic thing happened. Her phone vibrated. With a message from the unknown number. As if the universe were following a sadistic script. Unknown, he tried to turn you into the villain of your own movie. Don't let him. Go to the address on the invite. You are the first. Mia read it out loud. Caleb went pale. Sloane stared at Mia. Okay, so there's a J, and this J is talking to you. Caleb tried to grab the phone from her hand. Mia recoiled. Sloane shoved his shoulder lightly, just enough to say no. Caleb lost his composure completely. You don't understand what you're messing with. Mia looked him in the eye. I understand perfectly. You're a professional liar with 2 names and the courage of a rat in someone else's kitchen. Sloane spoke, cold. If there's one more threat, I'm calling the police. Again, because my finger has been hovering here for 5 minutes. Caleb froze. You already called. He asked. Sloane smiled without showing her teeth. Of course, the sirens didn't come immediately. Time, in these moments, has its own cruelty. It stretches, it chews, it makes you feel every heartbeat like a thud against a door. Caleb tried to negotiate. Mia, I'll return it. I'll get it back. You're going to get it back with what money? Mia countered. Mine is already gone. He opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. I can fix this. You can't even fix a sentence without incriminating yourself. Sloane snapped. Mia pointed to the hallway. Sit down. Don't touch anything. And don't leave. Caleb laughed, a short, menacing laugh. You think you can boss me around now? Mia, her voice steady, but her gaze broken inside. I'm not bossing you around. I'm shutting this down. He took a step toward the door. Sloane moved between him and the exit. Don't even try. Caleb shoved her shoulder. It wasn't a hard shove, but it was enough to make Sloane stumble and hit her hand against the wall. The scene, small and ugly, made it clear what he was when there was no audience to perform for. Mia didn't scream. She just turned the phone toward him. Perfect. More footage. Caleb realized he had lost control for good. And he did the most cowardly thing. He ran Mia and Sloane chased him to the hallway. But not enough to turn it into an action movie. The building had cameras. The building had a doorman. The building had neighbors who, when they hear a commotion, open their doors just enough to see the drama and close them fast. Because nobody wants to be an extra. Caleb ran down the stairs. And on the ground floor. Justice appeared with its typical elegance, not cinematic, but efficient. The officers walked in. One was already talking to the doorman. The other looked at Caleb and didn't ask for his name. He asked something else. Are you Mason Reed? Caleb locked up as if he'd been TASERED. Mia felt a cold wave wash over her. Because that meant one thing. It wasn't just her. He was already being looked for. Caleb tried to lie out of reflex. No, the officer held up a printed sheet. Then why is your photo here with this name and others? Sloane let out a low I knew it. With bitter satisfaction, Caleb tried to run again. And then the real world did what the real world does. It ended the nonsense into seconds. He was handcuffed right there in the lobby. Witnessed by a neighbor in the elevator making a I don't want to get involved face. While getting very involved with her eyes, Mia stood there, trembling, while the officer asked if she wanted to file everything officially. If there were stolen items, if there had been an assault. Sloane pulled up her sleeve and showed the red mark on her arm. Does this count? The officer nodded. It counts. Caleb was led away. And on his way out, he tried one last card, the one every manipulator tries when the castle has already fallen. Mia, you're going to regret this, Mia answered without raising her voice. Only with the calmness she didn't know she possessed. I already regretted it. It was when I called my best friend a thief. The door closed. And the silence that followed was different. It was the silence of a house after a storm. When all that's left is the damage and the awareness, Sloane stared at Mia. Her eyes shining with anger and sadness, Mia opened her mouth. But her voice failed. Sloan spoke first. You kicked me out because of him, Mia nodded, swallowing her tears. I know, you called me a thief. I know, you hurt me, Mia breathed out, feeling the full weight collapse on her. I know, and I have no excuse. I only have shame. Sloan looked at the floor for a few seconds. Then she looked up, weary. Okay, so, let's do something adult. You're going to recover what you can, and then we decide if there's still an us. Mia nodded. I accept that, and that was when the final detail dropped into their laps like a stone. The officer returned with a clear plastic bag. Inside, the jewelry box, we found this on him. He had it hidden in the lining of his backpack. Mia felt her chest tighten. The box was there. The ring, too. Sloan exhaled, as if she'd been holding her breath since Friday. Mia pressed the box against her chest and for a second almost collapsed. It wasn't just the ring. It was the physical proof that she had been used, manipulated, and dismantled. But the envelope with the money didn't appear. Mia asked, her voice breaking, and the money? The officer made a face that said this is going to be unpleasant. He transferred part of it. The rest seems to have gone toward payments and bets. And from what we've seen, it wasn't the first time. The word bets hung in the air, filthy. It felt sickening. It made her want to vomit, Sloan whispered, so he gambled away her wedding. Mia let out a horrible laugh, the kind that's born when you can't cry without dying. He even gambled away my grandmother, that same night. Mia went back to Reddit and posted the update nobody likes to write, but everyone reads with wide eyes like a season finale. Update. He had another identity. The name on the card was Mason Reed. He had a rehearsal dinner invite on his phone with someone else. I had video of him leaving at night. My friend had audio of him saying I'd blame her. The police arrived and called him Mason before anyone said a name. He was handcuffed in the lobby. My grandmother's ring was recovered. The money, by all accounts, turned into bets and debt. I apologized to my friend. She hasn't forgiven me yet. And honestly, I don't know if I deserve it. The comments came as they always do. Half hug, half slap, all tasting of salt. Top comment. You didn't just lose money. You almost lost your only loyal person. Don't let the scam end with you alone. Another. He tried to isolate you. And he almost succeeded. Rebuild with the one who stayed standing. Another. Keep all records. Check your credit. Change passwords. And warn any J that shows up in your life. Another. The real question is, why did you believe him so fast and accuse her so easily? Therapy. Now. And then came the last twist, small, cruel, and perfectly ironic. The J appeared. She commented on the post with a newly created account. Like someone throwing a pebble into a lake and watching the ripples. J. My name is Juniper. I was going to marry him next month. The rehearsal dinner was real. I was the one who set the photo of the shop. He tried to play me for a fool too. Thank you for posting. Now, I have the courage to testify. Mia read that and felt her whole body go cold and, at the same time, relieved because the story wasn't just about her. It was about a man who collected lives the way some people collect cards. Only this time, he chose victims who spoke up. The next morning, Mia opened the apartment and found one last gift from Caleb. A crumpled note under the living room rug. Written in a hurry, you're going to miss me when the world comes to collect. Mia stared at that sentence for 10 seconds. Then she tore it into 4 pieces, and she threw it in the trash with the same calmness one uses to throw away an expired item. That was just taking up space and rotting the room. Sloan, standing in the doorway, watched. No, what's worse? Mia looked up. What? Sloan pointed to the trash. He still thinks this is about him. Mia took a deep breath, clutching her grandmother's box like an anchor. This time, it isn't. And so it ended. No wedding. No envelope, with a friendship in slow reconstruction. A ring saved by a thread. And a con man in jail because, by some rare miracle, his life finally hit a wall. Now, honest question, if it were you, would you have accused your best friend too? Or would you have suspected the person sleeping next to you first? And if you've ever lived through something similar, comment, for real. And if you want to follow more stories where the truth shows up in high heels and fashionably late, subscribe and leave a like, because the court of the internet never closes.